Oh, you can see that's red bike. Ooh. There's a story here. See all the way up? Okay. Oh. Brakes. Ah, better. Okay. This, as you can see, is not Daphne. This is Mary Jane. You might remember Mary Jane if you've seen any of my older videos. I was playing around one day in 2021, December of 2021, and came across an ad for a bike store that was they did mail orders, right? Mail order shipment, and they were running sale on bikes, on e-bikes. And at the time, I was just riding around on my GFC, you know, riding local trails because, you know, riding an acoustic bike up at Bear Creek's a lot harder than, and, you know, life and work and all that stuff gets in the way of actually staying in decent shape when you get to be older. So, and I've been thinking about an e-bike anyways, because I wanted to get out. I wanted to get out into the wilderness and stuff and do longer rides. Just, you know, because I was still going to ride my acoustic bike. I wanted something like this to have a little more fun with, you know. I saw they had a sale, and you know, it's still expensive. Monday, right? Okay. Okay, so still expensive. So said, hey, hon, I must have caught her in a good mood. I had to run it by her. It's an expensive bike. You got to run it by the old lady. That's key to a successful marriage, right? So, hey, just thinking about getting a Z-bike. And really, I haven't. I'd been riding at that point the GFC for 4.5 years, 5 years, 4.5 years. It had been a while since I'd, you know, upgraded my bicycle. And so I guess I caught her in a good mood because she was like, okay. She was like a parent. Okay, if you can afford it, you might need to cut some extra grass yards and stuff and do some extra yard work and that kind of thing. She wasn't really like that, but that's what it seems like when you tell the story. So I went ahead and ordered it before she changed her mind. Bike came in less than 2 weeks. It got here really fast. And my first ride, I came over here to blankets on it. And yeah, it was pretty much love at first ride. I was hooked. Just the power to just ride anything and everything. To do multiple laps of VMT without feeling like you're gonna yak up a lung. Or without feeling like your heart's gonna beat through your chest. That's pretty cool. So I mean, I rode everything. I rode this thing almost exclusively for a good 2.5 years. I went everywhere on it. I took it everywhere, and she was my baby. Her name was Mary Jane. Her name is Mary Jane. And her name is Mary Jane because there's a story there too. My Jeffsy, of course, was red and black, and I always thought the color scheme really fit with the Black Widow, Marvel Comics Black Widow. And so I even got some stickers, some Black Widow stickers with her logo. And I named that bike Natasha. So, I mean, it's the thing. I'd say, going for a ride. You and Natasha going for a ride? Yeah, I'm going for a ride. So, when I got this, I was talking with the wife about what I should name it. So I named my bike. It's the thing I do. I don't care how corny or goofy you think it is. It's what I do. So I'm like, okay. It's red. It's a redhead. It's a good redhead. Oh, Mary Jane Watson. Comic book Mary Jane Watson. And I have some Spider-Man stickers. So I put the Spider-Man stickers on there. That sticker right there. Named her Mary Jane. So this is Mary Jane. Me and Mary Jane went everywhere. We did everything. It's a big bike. It's an XL size, and honestly, it doesn't feel any different than a large. I can ride this back to back with Daphne, and there's a little difference. She's got a lot more rattles in her though, and that's because the battery is a removable battery. And so it jiggles around a bit. I put a foam pad that Orbea sells at the base of the battery, which took a ton of the rattles out. Right? So that helped with that. Whew. But she's a solid bike. She is really beefy and solid. When I rebuilt it after I took the Fox fork off of it that I had. It's a 36, it was a 36, yeah. It's a Fox 36 e-bike tuning fork. I took it off, put it on my single speed. And so what I did with this guy is took the Shokz Revelation 35 that came originally on my brother's bike and put it on this one. And it works because this one originally came with it. Shokz 35. Now I would have put that original fork back on here, but I had no idea where it is. So I've got a practically new Shokz Revelation floating around somewhere at home with only about 150 miles on it. So I built this bike back up, put a lot of original parts back on it. snake a new dropper cable through. Had to drop the motor down to do it, but learned a lot about how all that stuff's put together, so it worked out pretty good. But the dropper is the Orbea OC original dropper that came on it. 150 mil travel. It's not nearly as nice as any of the box or RockShox dropper posts, but it works. Let's see. It's got brand new Shimano Dior brakes. No, I'm sorry, these are not Dior brakes. These are base level MT 410s or 420s. One, it's a 2-piston instead of a 4-piston, which, if I sell this bike, which I'm hoping to do, I'm going to recommend that to the buyer. First thing they do is put some decent 4-pot brakes on here. It's got brand new tires. It's got brand new wheel set, which is the Race Face Arc 30s. Brand spanking new. Shimano hubs, not very loud. Gets the job done. It's got a brand new XT cassette, brand new XT derailleur and shifter. I say brand new, but it's brand new because it was a takeoff part from when I got another bike, or when I got the bike and replaced it with much higher grade stuff just right off the bat. So, bike set. Well, I haven't ridden it since February. I've ridden around the neighborhood trying to get the brakes and everything dialed in, but I need to get it out and exercise the battery, basically. I want to make sure the battery still has the kind of range that it had before, and it appears to. I mean, I'm riding in turbo mode. I'm not using much battery according to the range. Big red bike. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun bike. It really is. It's so stable on the downhills. And it climbs. It climbs so friggin' good. It stays planted. There's plenty of power, of course, with the Bosch Gen 2 motor. 625 watt-hour battery. It's a beast. It's a friggin' beast of a bike. But it still feels nimble. You can still throw it around these curves. Getting used to the length, the wheelbase on it, takes a small amount of time. But after you get used to it, you can really blaze on it, man. Whew. Yeah, Orbea knows what they're doing. This is a great bike. And if I hadn't have had the opportunity to get the 2023 model, I would still be riding this thing. We would still be blazing all over North America. Or at least North Georgia. we'll talk about the power delivery on this is very different than the Gen 4 motor. That Gen 4 motor it just delivers the power so smooth and so linear. This bike, there's a bit of overrun. You can hear it with that ratchet sound when you stop pedaling. But when you put power to pedals, there's a bit of a jerk to it, like, hey, let's go, hey, let's go. So if I sell this, I'll sell it. I'll sell it to someone who wants to ride it. But I'm not gonna let it go for cheap. And it's got documented. It's got 2,900 miles on it. That's documented in Strava, basically. Take a look at the odometer. The odometer probably shows over 3. Just can't remember how to get to it at this point. I'll check it later. You do feel a bit of the weight sometimes. Just sometimes. Whew. Yeah, I don't know if I trust these brakes on Bear Mountain yet. Bear Creek, in Hodes. I don't know. Maybe a little more adjusting needs to be done there. Yeah. One thing I did to this bike to basically just customize it was I took the battery out, took the battery holder out, and rerouted the wiring inside, because there's basically 3 cables. There's a controller cable, there's the shifter cable. Oh man, I almost hit that tree. And there's the brake cable going down the top tube, and they run behind the battery. So what I did was take the battery out, all that stuff around the battery out, and just use some friggin' Gorilla Tape to tape the cables down, so they won't bang around, so they won't, just so they'll stay in place. And trust me, I had to do that. And if you ever have to replace a cable, like a brake hose or a shifter cable, how's it going? Or drop the cable. It's best to learn how to take all that stuff out so you can do that, because if the seat post ever needs maintenance and you have to take it out, or you have to adjust it, it'll mess up. It'll pull loose. Really pull loose. I don't really know how to explain it. But another reason I had to tape the cables down, was to just basically so the battery would fit in there better. Because this thing has a door, just a hard plastic door cover, whatever, that just pops in place. and the battery's not in there good. It is murder trying to get that cover back in place. So, I mean, this thing, if you ran it side by side against another 2021, this bike is so much quieter. I've been talking this whole time. It's a good bike. It's heavy, stable, powerful. Yeah, this is, they say you're supposed to store them with the battery maybe halfway down. I should have done that. I should have run the battery down before I actually, it's been sitting in my workshop since February. And it hasn't had a full charge on the battery, but it's been better than 3/4 charge. And they say you shouldn't do that. So that's what this ride is all about. It's also a shakedown ride because I haven't ridden it since I rebuilt it. But I just want to see if I still get the same range on the battery. Oh, drops the post. But so this bike is essentially 3 years old. It's coming up on 3 years old. Got it in 2021. It's coming up on 3 years old in December, and it's got a 5-year warranty on the frame, so it's still got 2 more years on the frame. So if anybody buys it and anything happens to the frame, I would ask them to please call me and let me handle the warranty work on it, since it's in my name. I don't know if that would make Orbea kind of be dicks about it. But I hope it wouldn't. I don't like that dropper remote. Okay. Oops. Yep, that good old XT banging in the back. How's it going?
Hey, thanks.
I'm not a huge fan of XT parts anyways. I used to be. I used to run XT on everything. Get a new bike, automatically go buy an XT derailleur. Then SRAM came out with the Eagle series, Eagle, you know, everything Eagle, GX Eagle, SX, XX Eagle, whatever. And first time I used Eagle. How you doing? First time I used a Eagle drivetrain, I fell in love because it was so smooth, buttery smooth shifting, man. It was awesome. So basically been a SRAM guy since. But this ain't too bad. This is a pretty good drivetrain, I guess. I think it's an XT cassette. It might still be that Sunrace cassette. Can't remember. I'll have to check that out. What is it, Monday? Yeah, it's Monday. Okay. Monday. Yeah, this seat post doesn't feel great either. Oh, I was not focused. So, I think I told stories about all my bikes. So now you know the story of Mary Jane. And how she got her name. Just because I had a Spider-Man sticker and she's a redhead. And it had to be a Marvel character. I mean, you toss around Wanda, but nah, Mary Jane fit better. Ooh. Ooh. Thing about this bike, the Gen 2, doesn't have the smart system in it. It's a Purion controller, and it's just base controller. It does very limited calculations on range and keeps up with your odometer and shit like that. Walk mode is very hard to engage on this thing if you ever need it. It's basically 2 fingers. You have to hold it with 2 fingers. Remember those old Duracell battery checker things they used to have, where you put the battery on it and then you squeezed top and the bottom of that little battery checker and it told you how much battery's left in it? That's what walk mode is on this. You basically have to squeeze the bottom and the side button and squeeze them both at the same time. If you let up on either one, you lose walk mode. It's a pain. So I never used it. But I mean, really, the fork feels pretty good right now, actually. And it's, you know, it's a bottom feeder RockShox fork. It's a OEM POS. But it feels pretty good right now. Pretty good. The squirrel's going nuts. Brand spanking new Maxxis tires. This is the first time they've been on dirt. And it's Minions, so they're really good tires. Got, oh, pay attention first. Let's get around this section. Let me see. Got DMR Death grips on it, which my boy Kevin likes. Oh, dang. Anyways, honestly, I want to give it the shakedown ride because I want to throw that guy on this bike some weekend coming up. Go up to Bear, do Bear Creek up, overlook down, then Hody's 1 and 2. Get my boy Kevin up there, show him what it's all about, show him the beauty and the thrill of the e-mountain bike. You hear that, Mr. Drum Runner? The challenge is out there, dude. You just gotta get a weekend off. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I think turbo mode on this bike, it's not as smooth as turbo on the other one. I guess that's just the smart system. It is more balanced. When you're pedaling, when you get your cadence up, it certainly lays the power down. But on the low end, it really doesn't work as well in turbo. But you can toss it to the turns, man. Woo! Okay, through that section, it did feel bigger. It did feel like a bigger bike. It's weird. I guess it's just a feeling. Big rock in the middle of the trail. Awesome. Boing. Yeah, the front fork, the Revelation 35, doesn't actually feel like a pogo stick. I mean, it's actually not doing too bad. I remember when I first got the bike and rode that fork for maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I was about ready to shoot it with a gun, man. But this one feels a lot better. It is 2 years newer than the one I had on here initially. It doesn't feel nearly as good as a Fox bottom feeder fork, which is, I guess, the performance, the rhythm line, I guess. Unless you want to talk about Fox acquisitions and talk about the Marzocchi, which we won't. Anyways. Just check everything up here, make sure everything's staying together, since this is basically a shakedown ride. So I put the thing together in March, I guess. And since then, it's just kind of been sitting there because my other options have been much more enticing. It's a solid bike, man. And it has some cool stickers, like my Rush sticker, Wolf Tooth. That's the company I bought it from. E-bikes 508, yeah, 508, or motorcycles 508. They sell motorcycles, they sell electric bikes, they sell a little bit of everything. Got a Rush logo on the front. Don't mind me, I'm just talking to myself. Trying to make a video to sell this bike. It's got 11 miles left. How you doing? Let's see. That's still good. Cranks. The cranks that are on there are E13 crankset. It's the crankset that came off of the off of Daphne, actually. All right, we'll finish it up. Using turbo mode has got me down to halfway on the battery, which is not bad because turbo is full boost, 100%, 100+% boost. I'm not sure of the numbers, but if I were to go up to Pinhodes or Jake Mountain or someplace like that and use turbo, I would blow through the battery in no time at all. I probably would barely make it back to the car from the overlook if I just did straight up to the overlook. I'd go through the battery so fast. That's just how it works. On this bike, when you go up to a place like that, you're going to be using tour mode for most of the ride, probably 90% of the ride. And that's what I did. I would just put it in tour mode most of the time after I got used to the bike. You know, like when I first started going, the first time I went up there, I used EMTB mode most of the time. And then as I got a little more familiar with the bike, this bike, I would use tour mode. And pretty soon I was using tour mode for the entire Bear Hody route, which I think is pretty good. Gotta get on up there. Maybe he'll stop at the flagpole. I don't want to be a dick. Just kind of coasting now. Yeah, the wheel set on this Shimano hubs. Race face Arc 30 rims. I don't know what kind of spokes, just factory, whatever. But it's pretty good. I mean, I'm not a huge Shimano fan, as I said earlier, but as far as hubs go, they're pretty freaking bulletproof. They are pretty durable. So no complaints when it comes to the hubs. And really, when I got this bike, the only reason, well, no, wait, let's see, those were, I can't remember what kind of wheels came with this one, but it wasn't the hubs that failed, it was the spokes, and just the fact that it was just, I think the wheel set was the Orbea factory crap, the factory wheel set. I don't think it was a name brand, but it had Shimano hubs. But the hubs were fine. Hubs are still fine. I still have them. So, I'm just kind of babbling now. Guy ahead of me probably thinks I'm insane. Another guy up on top of the hill did. What the hell is he talking to? He's talking to his bike. Well, shit, yeah. Don't you talk to your bike? I don't even know how many miles I got. I didn't bring a Garmin or start a Strava or anything. crazy about the seat though. I am kind of glad that it's going with the bike. If I sell it, if I can sell it. Oh, I should sell it for her. Y'all can watch me screw up this downhill section up here. God, I just hit a rock there. Someone had removed the rock at one point. I thought they, because the person that told me about the rock months ago was Rick the Fix Miller, and I'm pretty sure he didn't have anything to do with the rock, because I think he said he didn't like it. Is that him? It might have been. I think it's him. And then it was gone, very briefly, but then it was back. It's gone. It's back. So I guess the rock is a permanent fixture now. And that little root used to be my nemesis on this trail. I had so much trouble with that root over the years. I tell you what, in the last 6 years or so, I had finally figured it out. I'm not going to blaze down this like Murchison does. That guy's crazy. I mean that with all due respect, dude. Oh shit. Ooh. Oh my God. I haven't ridden this in so long I don't know the lines. What's the lines here? I guess the lines are go fast so you can clear them. Okay, I'm embarrassed. I am totally embarrassed. You guys have to forgive me. I am so embarrassed. So embarrassed. Killing it, dude. You're killing it. No, man, you're tearing it up. Oh, thanks. Sorry, I got hung up on that root back there and I had to... Yeah, it is. Thanks. You too. Oh, that is a tree on the finger. Jesus. He said he hasn't ridden that section in a while, but I bet it's pretty washed out, he said. Yeah. got a stick banging around back there. I hope it doesn't break a spoke or anything. Woo! Damn. Yeah. Turbo mode. If you can get going too fast here. What is that? I think it came out. Okay. Oof. Okay. Was I talking about anything? I can't remember. It's probably just nonsense, gobbledygook. Gobbledygook. Yay. I am hitting everything I shouldn't be. Let's just take the fast way out, wrap up this ride. I'll go home and check bolts, check drivetrain, check the wheels, check the cranks, make sure everything's all good. Then I'll say it was a successful shakedown ride. I tell you, man, turbo mode will get you out there. It's almost too much power. Well, almost ain't nothing to it. It's too much power. And if I could see a chart of my most used mode on this bike, it would most definitely be tour mode. Tour mode is plenty. I used ENTB mode on climbs in the mountains, but I very rarely used it on any of the local trails. There's one section of Fern Gully over at Allatoona Creek that is a straight up climb. It's straight up and it's steep. I don't know what the degree is. It's a pretty steep friggin' trail. And I did pop it into turbo mode on that guy because it's a beast. That trail's fun. On your left. Have a good one. Oh, good old Shimano shifts. Man, this bike is just so fast. Gearing on this, it's I think it's 10 to 52. I think it's got that 52 tooth on it on the back, and the front is a 34. It's a wolf tooth 34. Is that everything? Is the shifter an XT? I think the shifter is an XT. You know, I put the thing together in March and I don't remember all the parts. Really, I was just kind of just throwing them on at one point. I was just grabbing what I had, slapping it on there to be done. It doesn't mean I was careless. I was not careless, that's for damn sure. Never careless with the bike, it's too much at stake. Ugh. I do think I need to do some tweaking on the derailleur though. It just popped right back there for no reason. Hey man, I know that guy. I've ridden with him. He's that guy with the big giant thighs that was snapping his chain every time we. It was on a group ride, and he stood up to pedal, and he dropped the power, and his chain just exploded in pieces. He's like, holy shit. I don't know how many miles I got.